What's going on, guys and gals? My name is NekoFluttershy, and welcome to a video. This is just a normal, regular video, I guess. So, for those of you that have no idea what's happening, I am a brony, which basically means I'm a male viewer and a fan of My Little Pony. And I just got stuck on something there. But anyways, so you know, and also, for those of you that have no idea, my life kind of sucks. Like, you have no idea how bad my life is. Now, this video isn't basically a whole, oh, boo-hoo, feel sorry for me sort of thing. No, it's not that at all. Um, but there are some things that the Brony fandom and the My Little Pony fandom as a whole, and, My Little Pony as a complete whole, has kind of helped me with, I guess, and, in general, what My Little Pony has done for me. So, back in the day, I used to be, I guess, this troubled kid who, would always start fights with people, who would always, always cause problems with people. I'm not like that now, but I'm just saying, in the past, I used to be. And I'm not proud of who I used to be. Not at all. Actually, if I could go back and change it, I fucking would, I would definitely go back in time and be like, no. No, you should never have done the things you have did. You never should have said the things you said, and, like that, and yeah. But at the time, I was a really troubled kid. I had, PTSD from what so I'm going to use air quotes here, father, because he's not my father. If he was, he would have shown a lot more respect. He wouldn't have done the things he did, etc., etc. I'll make another video based on him later on and all the things he did to me, and yeah. So what you need to know is the fact that, I had a troubled past. I was abused and treated like shit and all that. I moved here in 2005, halfway through 2005. And that's when things kind of got a little worse, I guess. And all that other stuff. And then I'm like, fuck, what the hell am I doing? So, I kind of got into a lot of trouble in my youth. I started, again, fighting with people, and, because I thought that was the way you had to survive. You're like, oh, I have to call this person a bad name, and, and do all these things just to survive and to prove my worth, And that was not the case at all. I shouldn't have done the things I did. But in addition, fast forward to, like, 2012, I think it was, maybe 2011, I can't remember. I went to this program called Reach, which was designed to help troubled kids like myself at the time to basically help, with my mental problems that I had and all these things. And, for a while, it seemed like nothing would help. I would potentially spend the rest of my childhood in jail because I was involved in the court system, the juvenile side of things, because I was a kid, They weren't gonna fucking, throw me in prison at the age of like 12 or 13. Oh, they could, but that'd be fucked up. And again, this is Meg's County we're talking about, so that wouldn't have been out of the ordinary. Anyways, so, I got in trouble in the past for, stealing something I wasn't supposed to have. Obviously, it's why it was fucking called stealing. From the school I went to. And so after that, I got involved with the court and this and that, and it was a pain in the ass. So they gave me a choice. They said, look, you have to complete this program or if you fail to do so, you're gonna spend a while in juvie. And I was like, fine, you know, because I mean, nothing can actually help me at that time. Hell, there are days, even today, I still don't think anything can truly help me. Um, but you know, at the time, I felt, before I started My Little Pony, I felt like, and started becoming a part of the fandom, I felt like I was never going to succeed. I was never going to graduate the program successfully. I was never going to do this and that. And it always seemed like I will always be a troubled person. And I also always felt like, all these things. I felt like shit at the time because, oh, I'm here. I'm in this place I didn't really want to be in the first place, and all these things, and I really didn't like it. I mean, actually, I kind of did, but I didn't at the same time. I knew that I wasn't really supposed to be there, right? Like, I was, but I wasn't. Like, there's a lot more better things I could have done and been a part of at that time, and in addition, I was legitimately thinking at that time, when I was like, 12 or 13, that, maybe I should stop living. Maybe I should just stop bothering as well, and then just decide to kill myself. I legitimately, at that time, at that age, really wanted to. I was considering it. And then, this faithful day, it was I don't want to sound, cliche or anything based on the song, but it was in the middle of a summer afternoon, and I was, bored out of my mind, had the day off, and I was like, okay, I think it was a Saturday. I can't remember exactly what day it was, but I do remember it was a marathon that was airing on TV. So I was bored, right? I had nothing to watch on TV. I had, like, nothing to do with my life. So I was sat down, and there was a show on TV called My Little Pony Friendship is Magic, right? And so after that, I'm like, okay, I guess I'll give it a watch, because a few people told me to watch it. I'm like, fine, okay, I'll give it a go. And so I did. And then I watched an episode, and I watched another one. Basically, it was a marathon, and I watched every episode that was on. I never turned away from the TV or anything like that. I watched a lot of the shows, and at the time I was like, huh, I like this. I love this. I am a fan, and I think, like, going back to the whole suicidal thing I was talking about earlier, I really, at the time, 12, 13, I felt like I wanted to die. I wanted to kill myself, get it over with, because I knew my life wasn't going to get me anywhere at that time, and I felt like the only true option was to go, was to end it all. But then when I saw the show and what the fandom could somewhat muster up, I felt like I had something. I guess you could say, somewhat of a chance to, I guess you could say, to do other things, such as, not die. I had other ways to survive and all this and that, and looking back, I was like, huh, maybe suicide is not really a thing I should be doing right now. And so I thought, okay, fine, I will watch an episode or two. And then, I didn't feel lonely. I didn't feel hopeless, So in a way, My Little Pony has saved me. If it weren't for the fact that I watched that show at that time, there would have been no guarantee at all that I would still be here today making content for you guys and gals, and in general just, yeah, enjoying what's left of this world and all that. But now, I'm like, meh. But in all seriousness though, you know, like, and to anybody that was in the fandom at the time I joined, you know, thank you all for, I guess, helping me out, even though I didn't know who any of you were at the time. Like, it was only recently I started watching people like LilShy and, you know, Tootsie Forever and other people like that who are what I consider to be amazing people in this fandom. And then, you know, regardless, I have to thank every single one of you for, you know, helping me out, it seems like, throughout the years, because if it weren't for people like you, the show wouldn't have taken off the way it did. The show wouldn't have lasted the way it did, and I probably wouldn't have watched it. And I probably wouldn't be here today if it weren't for the amazing fandom that we have and have had. So I thank the My Little Pony, you know, Friendship is Magic, all the staff writers and the voice actors and actresses for that. In addition, I also would like to thank, you know, all the people, again, like LilShy and, you know, LilShy FIM and all the other people for, I guess, helping me out, you know, giving me some content to watch so I don't end up, well, dead, you know. Because at the time, like I said, I was really actually contemplating, you know, suicide, which, to any of you that are out there that are struggling with the same thing I am, and, you know, the pain and feel like you can't go on anymore, there are people that can help you. There are people that can, you know, help potentially save your life. It may not feel like it. There may be times where you feel like there's nothing to do, nothing to see, you know, everybody leaves you and forgets that you exist and all that. But there are people out there that will help you and that actually do care and, you know, love you. So just think about that next time you're contemplating death. You know, the ultimate sacrifice, the ultimate sleep, and or whatever. You know, just take that into consideration and, you know, before you do anything rash, I guess you could say. But ultimately, it's your decision. But I urge you, regardless, to seek some help if you are feeling this way, and, you know, because there are people that care about you. I do. Even if you're a fucking hater, you know, even if you're one of these people that have commented some shit on my videos and be like, oh, your videos suck, I still care about you because, I mean, you haven't really done anything to me to make me hate you, you know, for all eternity. And you also don't really deserve to die, you know, to kill yourself, especially, or even death in general. Like, you can just feel the love in the air. But yeah, so there are people that care about you. But as I was saying before, I think if it weren't for My Little Pony, I wouldn't be here today. I honestly think that is the case. Yeah, because I probably wouldn't have completed any programs as well. Like, I also would, I don't think this has much to do with it, but at the same time, if it has anything to do with where I'm at now, I have to thank My Little Pony for that as well. If I had never watched that show, I feel like I wouldn't have been wanting to be myself and complete the program that has been set for me and as part of my probation at that time. In addition, speaking of being myself, I actually thank My Little Pony for basically, and also this fandom, mostly the whole fandom in general, but I thank the fandom and the show for letting me be myself and telling people, hey, it's okay to be yourself. like for a while I was kind of at an identity crisis. I was like, oh, who am I? Am I do I really, you know, belong as a gender fluid person? Do I really, should I be doing this? Like, do I want to wear dresses and overall be feminine? And at that time, I was really unsure of myself. I was unsure of, who I was and my identity, and not my sexuality. I'm still straight, okay. Uh, but you get the idea that I was struggling at the time with, you know, being who I was at the time, because and it only made things worse that everywhere you would go, a lot of people would hate on the LGBT community. So I'm like, maybe I shouldn't be gender fluid. Maybe I shouldn't be wearing dresses and all that. Maybe I should just stay who I am and just wear normal t-shirts and jeans and whatever, or what normal guys wear. But because of My Little Pony and the fandom as a whole, I feel like I am probably the most comfortable with myself as I have ever been in my life. Like, I have never felt comfortable before until then. Like, again, I was struggling with identity crisis. I was like, am I gender fluid? Am I a male? Am I a female? Am I wearing dresses and stuff like that? Or, in general. But going back, I guess I started showing signs that I was going to turn out that way, gender fluid. But yeah, so I had some problems figuring that out until, like, I watched My Little Pony. And it may seem fucking weird, be like, oh, so you mean a TV show helped you realize who you actually are? Well, yeah. Like, the show helped me realize that it's okay to be gender fluid. It's okay to be who I am. If I want to wear dresses and skirts and all that, then so be it, There's no reason why I should be, afraid to be myself when, I should be happy with who I am, and only real people and true friends will accept you for who you are. For example, DJ, like, he's cool with the fact that I'm basically gender fluid, that I am not, like, that I am who I am, he's fine with that, and that's good, and even if he wasn't, then whatever, as long as he doesn't really, because there are people that are not fine with that, but they try to keep it civil. They try to be like, oh, I may not like the fact you're gender fluid, but I mean, we can still be friends, and those are the kind of people as well. I have some friends that don't really agree with that, but they still want to be my friend because I'm a cool person. It doesn't matter what my gender is or what my sexuality is or anything like that. And with that, I have to thank everybody that has ever been my friend that supports me for who I am, because again, at that time, I was trying to figure out who I was, trying to figure out, like, hey, and at one time I was literally considering, because I was afraid to tell my mother, Amy, that I was kind of gender fluid because of that. I'm like, oh, what if I get disowned? What if I get, put out on the streets and I'm alone because I'm different, And that's another thing. Where I live, there's not that many people that actually support you for who you are. Most of these people, they're a hunting, fishing sort of thing. They like guns. Basically Meigs County is a backwards ass county. Yes, there are women that work, but there's not a lot, like, compared to others, because there are still people here that think that women are only tools just to make kids and work around the house, which is totally wrong. You should never think that way. But in addition, with that, yeah, that also kind of, remember when I said I was a troubled kid back in the day, my past? Well, some of that was kind of also like this. See, I was one of those people at that time that kind of thought, oh, well, only women can do this and that, and only men can work and make money while women just sit there and look pretty. And which is totally wrong. Never think that way. Because women are the most valuable, things we have. They keep the world going, because if it weren't for women, there would be no children, right? And women can do a whole lot more than men, actually, and they can do the same jobs as men. Hell, I think they can do it a lot better, personally. Um, but yeah, I mean, when I was younger, I used to be like, oh, women can do this and only this. They are not made for the workforce. They can't do this, do that. Which again, as I keep saying, it's totally wrong. Never think that way. But when I watched My Little Pony, and became an active member of it, I changed my tone. I changed my mind, and I'm like, you know what? Maybe women are able to do a lot of things that men can do. And it's true. You know, I was not the best person, but I also don't really want to say it's mostly because of the fandom or My Little Pony. Like, just by watching a show or playing a video game or something, it doesn't. I mean, it can, but it doesn't, you know, automatically make you think that way. Like, oh, whatever. You have to make that choice yourself. So, but I think the show and the fandom kind of pushed me a little bit into thinking the way that I do now and becoming the person that I am to this day. So again, I thank everybody who supports me for who I am and all that. Because believe it or not, I used to be one of those people that, as well as not only was I struggling with identity crisis, I was also thinking to myself, like, men can't wear dresses. That's stupid. That's gay, which, again, there should be no reason why I should have thought that way at the time. And again, I don't want to say it's because of the fandom or because of the show. I actively made that choice to change who I was. But I think the show, again, and the fandom pushed me a little bit into making the right choices and the right decision as to where I am right now. Now, I also think that with the show, it has inspired me to be more of myself on here, on YouTube. And to basically not care what anybody says. If anybody starts hating on you, be like, oh well, who cares about what the haters think? They're not you. They will never be you. And personally, here, I have a thing. If you think you can do a whole lot better than what I'm doing, why don't you just make a channel yourself? Why don't you just, make your own content? This is what YouTube is for. It's for making content that, anybody can make. Anybody can choose to create. And that's what I like about this website, is that you can be who you want to be on this website and potentially make a lot of money, make a living, But I still think that, my younger self, if I were to go back and look at myself, I would probably have killed myself. Like, if I could go back to the past now, I've been like, hey, you're the younger version of myself. And just take a knife to my own throat, like my younger self's throat, so I wouldn't exist in this plane of reality or this plane of existence. Given that fact that I was a horrible person back then, I did all these wrong things, and and also this video, it's not just me talking about what the show and the fandom has done for me, but also it's proof that people can change. that, your ideals that you had when you were younger are not the same ideals you have now. Like, yes, I did think the way that I did. I'm like, oh, yeah, women are just tools and, but I don't think that way anymore. Because, first off, that is very unprofessional. Nobody should ever think that way, first and foremost. And secondly, it's just wrong. Women can do a whole lot better than men, I would say. I'm not saying that as, like, a means that, women are gods and goddesses. Well, they can be. It depends on who they are, who you ask. But you get the idea that that's not really the case. Not all women are goddesses, just like not all men are gods. We, as a species, we have to basically make that decision for ourselves. Do we want to be an egotistical dumbass that thinks that women can't do anything right, aside just for being basically our slaves? Or are we gonna, make a change and, do all these things to make it to where women are not segregated and that, women at least have a life and a job and all these things. Because again, while I do believe that women have that right, women have rights and everything like that, I do believe there are some people, just like men, who don't deserve them. There are a lot of bad people here. And also, the show has also kind of taught me to just deal with it, that this world does suck. And, sometimes things aren't fair. And, the sooner you realize that, the better. It's like nothing in life is ever fair. Life is not going to always treat you well. I mean, if you're a millionaire or even a billionaire, it kind of helps. But even so, you can't expect money to solve everything. Like, there's a meme that, money can't buy happiness, but it can buy this or that, and that's kind of the same thing. In a way, I guess that's true. But what do you do when you own everything? And I'm sure, yes, money can buy you friends. However, what do you do when you run out of money and you can't buy your friends anymore? They're going to leave you, and you're going to be left alone. So, if I were you, and also the show has taught me as well, that not only should you be yourself, but if you become yourself and are comfortable with who you are, then, your real friends will support you no matter what. It doesn't matter, who your friends are. I have friends that are not necessarily into My Little Pony. I have friends, like DJ. Although I'm still trying to convert him. Hey, what's up, asshole? But in all seriousness, though, like, DJ, he's not really as hardcore of a fan of My Little Pony as I am, and I don't really know if he is a fan, like, whatever. But I'm fine with that, and, he's fine with me being a brony. He's fine with me being who I am. And, it also proves that you can have different tastes. Different tastes in music, video games, in general. You can be, you can have different, interests, and you can still be friends. Or you can have different opinions, and you can still be friends as well with that person. So there is a lot that you can do. That, hey, who the fuck is shooting at me? Stop doing that. Stop it. Get the fuck back here. Yeah. But if anything, I think the show has also taught me to never really stop doing what I love, which is making YouTube videos. But even if it wasn't that, even if it was just like, trying to make other things, video games or whatever, that'd be fine, and to never really give up your passions. And because one of these days, I doubt it's ever going to happen, but one of these days I may be the next PewDiePie. I might actually make a lot of money, make a living, making content for you guys and gals. And My Little Pony and the fandom has taught me to never give up. I have a lot of friends on Twitter and Facebook and in general that, they don't give up on their dreams and ambitions. So why should I? If my friends are gonna be like, oh, I haven't given up on my dream and look where I am now. I'm comfortable being who I am. Basically, again, I'm not saying it's just because of the fandom or the show. I mean, I had to make these changes myself. The show can't do it really for me, but it can help, But because of the show and the fandom and the overall fact that I made that choice to change for the better, I'm more open-minded. If you told me, oh, I'm transgendered, I'm gay, I'm this or that, I'm like, hey, good for you. I'm proud. I'm proud of you for being who you are. And I will support you for being who you are. And I also believe that if anything happens, like, some of my friends leave due to other things, and then it's okay. True friends stick with you no matter what happens. And, it's fine to basically be different. And you should never let anybody try to change who you are. Just because. If you want to change the way things are, you have to make that choice yourself. No one's gonna, force you to change. And even if they do, they shouldn't really be doing that. It should basically be your choice. If you want to change who you are, change your life for the better, then that's on you. And the show has also taught me that. But also, the show and also the fandom, as interesting as it is, the show has also taught me that you can't just reform everybody, and you can't just solve problems by hugging it out and being like, oh, it's okay, we forgive you for totally destroying the world. If someone tries to do you wrong multiple times, and they have hurt you in a way that is basically irredeemable to you, you can just basically tell them, fuck off. If you are going to hurt me, I don't need you in my life, and basically you cannot be redeemed in my eyes. And as sad as that is, it's true. You can't really, you can't just, be friends with everybody. There are people that will try to destroy your life, and, and even some of your so-called friends that will try to destroy your life as well. By changing that, you can, in theory, just change everything. And they could tell them, hey, no, if you're going to be this way, you are irredeemable to me. And I know I'm getting a little off topic and a little crazy and shit, but I have learned a lot throughout my years of being a brony and overall just a fan of the show. And I am glad and happy that My Little Pony has taught me so much things that, if I hadn't seen the show or been interested in this fandom, I probably would have not survived long after. Like, I probably would have either done one of two things. I would have either failed the program, went to juvie, or I would have killed myself. Either way, that would have been a bad thing. Now, again, if you or someone is dealing with depression and thoughts of, suicide and shit like that, you need to get some help. And there are people that are there to help you. There are people out there that are, there to support you and help you out through these hard times. And there are people that can, help you all survive. And, again, as ridiculous as this may sound, like a TV show can't really help you survive and, all that. I mean, some people say that. I mean, in a way, that's kind of true. But, I mean, if you have been in the way that I was and you felt like there's no more hope and you weren't sure about who you were and you were going through a lot of trouble and a lot of hard times, and you felt like you had to give up and, all that, then wouldn't you consider killing yourself? And then, at the time when seeing a show that gives you a small bit of hope, it actually helps you. Like, again, for example, I was struggling with a lot of problems and all that, but the show kind of helped me out a little bit. And again, it's not just because of the show, it's because I chose to do this. But the show and the fandom have helped me out through a lot. If it weren't for the show and the fandom and the fact that I decided to change my life for the better because of that show, I would probably not even be here right now. I would probably be gone. I probably wouldn't, do much of anything. And yes, I'm still playing the same fucking level. I'm trying to get a good speed run so I know the area. That's absolutely not related to anything I just said. But fuck it. So anyways, I guess that's it for this video, guys and gals. Just remember that, there's a lot of things out there that you may not realize it at the time, but they can help you through a lot of things. And they can also, make you a better person overall. Although, ultimately, it is the decisions that you make. I mean, I could have just watched the show and be like, this is cool. I'm a fan of the show. I'll watch it. But then continue to still be a complete asshole who, is a homophobic, crazy person, and you might be saying, oh, well, you were homophobic once, you will always be that way. No. People can change, and they can change their viewpoints. May not be a lot of people that will automatically do that, but, there are a few people that will, myself included. I changed my life for the better. I no longer see women as just tools. I no longer see, all these things as the way it is. I understand that life is not always fair, and I understand that not everybody is going to be your friend, and you shouldn't force people to do that. But yeah, the show and the fandom have helped me out through a lot of hard times, and honestly, mostly I would say, if it weren't for the show, I probably wouldn't be alive right now. Let's be real here. So, throughout the years, thank you to Hasbro for making such an amazing show on TV. Thank you all, thank you to Lauren Faust. Thank you to the voice actors and actresses for giving life to these ponies. And thank you to basically everybody, who made the show possible. And, in addition, thank you to... Oh, shit. Also, thank you to, the fandom. I also especially want to thank Lil Shy FIM and Tootsie Forever. Because you two are fucking amazing. You two need to keep up the good work. And, actually, to be quite honest, the very moments that I watched you guys, it's honestly, I think, I think personally, recently, you guys have also, you have no idea how much you guys have helped me, but, between Lil Shy FIM and Tootsie Forever, they've also helped me with, a lot of things. I've been going through, recently, I've been going through a lot of stress and a lot of, problems, I guess you could say, uh, even for the past few years, and, you know, those two take my mind off of things by watching their content. And, also thank you to other people in the fandom for posting such amazing content, that take my mind off of the stress of life. And, because honestly, you guys and gals have no idea how much you've helped me. Recently, I've been kind of thinking off and on myself. Like, you know, maybe I should end it. Maybe I should go. And leave this world behind, go on to the next, end all of this Matrix, simulation bullshit. But at the end of the day, based off of the things I have, watched and all that, you guys give me hope. You guys and gals out there, and also not just the fandom of My Little Pony and the show and all that, but also thank you to my audience, thank you to my fans, thank you to DJ Judson, and to all these beautiful people who have helped me out throughout all these years. And you guys and gals are amazing, and I am just proud to have such amazing followers and fans and subscribers and other people like that, like you guys and gals, and as well as the fandom where I feel like I belong. Because of the fandom mostly, I didn't kill myself, and I felt like I could be comfortable with who I am, and I can, be gender fluid without worrying about what other people think. Because that was a big problem at the time. I was like, okay, if I wear a dress in public, what are people going to say? Are people going to try to beat the shit out of me? Are people going to try to kill me? Because there are people that do that. Because you're different from everybody else, they will try to kill you and be like, oh, you do not belong in this world because you're a gay homo faggot thing, or just because you're different, and it's not right to do that. But there are some people that will sadly do that. And I personally think that those people, they're probably insecure with their own lives, and so they want to be insecure and treat other people like absolute shit. Which, that's fine. Do whatever you want. But just don't expect a lot of mercy from people. If you're going to be an asshole to them and start problems and all that, then, that's your problem, not ours. And if you're having a problem, if you're having problems at home or at school or in general, if you are, having issues, it's not a good idea. It's not okay to take it out on other people. Like, for example, like, I used to, be one of those people that would take out my anger and stress on everyone and start, bullying them. But I later realized that was not the way to do things. There are other ways of going about certain things, and, after that, I can somewhat, kind of fix myself, I guess you could say. So, yeah. But anyways, guys and gals, sorry if this video is long as fuck, and it sometimes went in circles, but you get the idea that I'm not the same person I was yesterday. I've changed for the better, mostly because of the show and because I felt like I really needed it to change my life and change the way, because in a way I was actually kind of tired of that. I was kind of tired of, being that way. I was kind of tired of being a asshole and, you know, all that. And so I decided again I would fix myself and try my hardest to be a better person. And so far I think I have somewhat succeeded. So anyways, guys and gals, that's going to be it for this video. If you like this video, give this video a like. If not, that's fine too. Don't forget to comment down below your thoughts on the whole damn thing. And don't forget to subscribe and click the bell icon down below to get notified of my future uploads and live streams and whatever the fuck else I do. And as always, I will see you all in the next video. Peace out, people. And bro hoof. Boom.